Hello and welcome to the Maison Maitland Kitchens. I'm pleased to be able to show you one of my favorite dishes I love to do for the holidays, and that is a bone-in glazed ham. I especially love the bone-in ham. It gives more flavor, and then you could use it afterwards as well for soups and other broths if you prefer to do that. So, in preparation of doing the ham, first of all, important to let it sit for an hour before come to room temperature before you put it in the oven. And although it's fully cooked, you do need to cook it about 15 minutes per pound. This one I picked up yesterday at the butcher's is approximately 10 pounds, so it'll take a little bit of time. It has some fat on the top. I wish it had a little more, but you go with the flow because when it's naturally smoked this way, they come in nettings where they would have been hung. So this is the difference than having a regular commercial ham. A lot more flavor as well. So in preparation, you'll see I started to put the cloves in here. I like to do that, although it's nice for decorative purposes, it also is a great thing to help the glaze cling to when it's baking. So I did most of them, but I've just got a little jar here. I like to put the ones with the little seeds on the end to have for the decorating part. And again, it gives it a little more traction for the sauce. So we'll just finish doing that. And then I love, this makes the kitchen smell amazing. In the leftovers, I just sprinkle them in the bottom of the pan. Now we're going to prepare the glaze to go on top. It's very simple. I've got about a half a cup of brown sugar here. It's important to have brown sugar. Also about 2 tablespoons of dry mustard. I prefer the dried mustard because it is a stronger taste. And it melts into the sugar better. So, not hot mustard, just dry mustard. People can make that mistake. So, I just try to smash that together a bit. And then what we're going to add is just enough liquid to make it into a little bit of a paste. So, you have options here. This is a cranberry juice, 100% cranberry juice that I'm using. You could use apple juice, orange juice, or water in a pinch. Just like to give it a little more flavor. So just to add a little bit of that. I've added just a little more than half a cup today because this is a 10-pound. So now that the ingredients are mixed, you have options on how you put it on. So this one, I poured maybe a little too much liquid in, so I'm going to use my pastry brush and just brush the glaze all over the ham. You can see how it's great that the cloves act as little stoppers to be able to cling the sauce. So I'll do approximately half of the glaze, and then we'll reglaze halfway through the cooking process. So the rest of the liquid goes into the bottom of the pan, and that helps to create and help steam it and give it some extra flavor and something for the cloves to permeate. And so this will bake for approximately 15 minutes per pound, so 150 minutes if my calculation is correct, at about 325, 350, something like that. So it's going to go in the oven, and then when it comes out, it needs to sit for at least 30 minutes before you carve it. Now we're going to make the warm ham sauce. This has been a favorite of mine since I was a teenager. It's an old Nova Scotian recipe passed down to me by my girlfriend's mother. And everyone is amazed about how simple it actually is. So I love serving it warm with the ham, but for leftovers, and there's always leftovers with a nice ham, I will put the remainder ham sauce in a jar and put it in the fridge and use it like a spread as you would mayonnaise or mustard with ham sandwiches, which is excellent. So what we're going to do is 2 eggs that we're going to put in a saucepan. Then we're adding 1 cup of white sugar. Has to be white sugar. Same deal with the dried mustard, 2 tablespoons. Really mix that well. Then we're adding 2/3 of a cup of white vinegar. And again, it's important that it's white vinegar. Whisk this in. Make sure everything is really incorporated really well. And then we're going to take it over to the stove. So we're going to cook this on medium low because we have eggs in there. It's kind of like a custard with vinegar instead. So again, very slow with a wooden spoon. Do not let it boil and don't leave it either. So when it coats the back of your spoon, and you'll feel that it'll thicken up. And a lot of times you might have a little bit of egg white that may have cooked if you haven't been watching this carefully. So I have a strainer that I always put on top of my jar before I pour it in when it's done. But this should take about 5 minutes or so. Or you could leave it in your pan till you're ready to serve, and then you can rewarm it and then be able to So when your ham comes out, you'd like to rest it for at least 30 minutes. And I like to start carving some of it, so it's easy, but I like to bring it out on a large board if possible, because it's a beautiful presentation. And then I would put some garnish around the outside and then serve the ham sauce in a little pitcher that people can pour as they choose. I love to serve this with boiled potatoes or mashed potatoes, some fresh peas, maybe some green beans with a little almonds, but keeping it fairly simple because the ham is the star of the show. So I hope you'll enjoy trying this at home for the holiday season and have this as a tradition for years to come. Thanks for joining me in the kitchen today.